No, I think that is a great challenge. Well, that was unexpected. Bad times. Get in the net, yes! Oh, that is such a result. I'm Mark Pitchers, wader-wearing, tea-drinking, caffeine-intolerant, beard-trimming carp freak. I've been an angler for over 30 years and caught carp from waters far and wide, big and small. For me, it doesn't matter where, as long as the challenge is exciting and inspiring. But in this series, the target is out of my control. 3 challenges will be put forward on Fox's Facebook page. Then it's up to you to have the final say on what mission I take on. I've faced some incredibly tough challenges so far. Have you been drinking de-icer again? Some of which I've smashed out the park. This one for the win. Others have dealt me a devastating blow.
I literally have no words.
But I'm still here and ready to pick up any gauntlet that is thrown down. This carp freak is not giving up without a fight.
Yes!
This is the challenge. What's up, carp freaks, and welcome to the challenge. Now, this challenge is one that has been suggested many times before, and Harry has finally decided that now is the time he'd like to give it to me. And it is beg, borrow or steal, using exclusively bait that you blag from anglers on the bank. You must catch 100 pounds of carp. None of your own bait can be used, and you cannot exchange money, goods or services, sounds ominous, for the bait that you acquire. No, I think that is a great challenge, and I have decided to come to Wyreside Lakes in the northwest of England because it's a popular, busy complex with numerous lakes, lots of anglers on the banks that I can borrow some bait from, and there's no point in doing it on a quiet syndicate venue or an exclusive venue where there's no other anglers there. So yeah, I've come to a busy, popular lake. Hopefully they're all feeling very generous, going to give me lots of bait so I can pass this challenge. But before that happens, I need to have a walk around, find some fish, decide where we're going to be fishing, then I can get blagging.
I like the swims. Well, if I need to use zigs, I've just found a piece of what was yellow foam. And I've got a hook out of it too.
You can use your own hooks.
Yeah, yeah, but I can sharpen that up. Sharpen that hook lovely, I think. In the pocket. Off to a great start, I'd say. There we go. Off to winning ways, I reckon, with that. So I can find more now. What's that? That's bird poo.
It's better, I've got a lead.
You don't need to.
Well, I've got a lead.
It's not literally find anything you can.
Yeah, but that, for this challenge, is basically currency. Badush. That's encouraging.
That is encouraging.
That's encouraging. Found a bit of form, found a lead, seen a fish, bosh. Everything points to this swim, doesn't it? Really does. But yeah, that's a bargaining tool, that lead.
So you're going to say, I'll give you a lead.
For a kilo of boilies, a few kilo of pellets, and some hook baits. Fair swap. That's good. Yeah, you'd fancy one in that corner, wouldn't you, all that? Yeah, I'm feeling it here, even more now. Need to find more currency now. Can I swap tackle for bait? Is that allowed on this?
Not tackle that you've
I own.
Not tackle you own or have bought.
Okay, but any tackle found, like that lead, I can swap that lead.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. But I only use that if I have to. I wouldn't just offer it. So there are a number of lakes on the complex here at Wyreside, but there are 3 day ticket lakes. Now this is the first one that we came to. This is Sunnyside 1, and we've just had a lap of the lake, and this swim has really sort of caught my eye. We've got a no fishing bank off to the right here. There's been quite a lot of fizzing, a few patches of bubbles coming up as well towards this corner, and just a few moments ago I did see a fish show there. So it is looking good, and also the bailiff said if he could choose any swim to fish on the lake, it would be this one. So everything seems to point to this swim. So I think the next job I've got to do really is get some bait somehow before we even get any gear out the van, haven't we really?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to go on the blag. I mean, that's been really optimistic, isn't it? There we go. If I just give them a tiny pot, then
they're only going to
get a tiny bit, yeah. So if I turn up with a dustbin and say, right, I need some bait for fishing, more likely to contribute more. Okay. That took some fathoming out, didn't it? Do that again.
That's fine.
I couldn't even open a gate. So let the poncing begin, and my first pot of ponce will be the bailiff. So I spoke to him already when I arrived, and he said that he fished last night. So I'm hoping, because he didn't catch a lot last night, he'll still have some bait left over. So I'm going to go and ask him now. I think I've got more chance of getting bait off a bailiff than I have off a tight, stingy Lancastrian fishing on the lake. So, not that all Lancastrians are tight, obviously, but you know, they make Yorkshire people look generous, but in a good way. So, you told me that you fished last night.
I did fish last night.
Don't suppose you've got any bait left over from your session, have you?
I've got a little bit of spud mix left in one of my buckets in my car.
Yeah?
I have.
Could I possibly ponce some of that off you?
Not a problem. Yeah.
That would be pretty awesome if I could do that.
Yeah, no issues.
Yeah? Then that's a touch. That's a proper touch. I haven't seen it yet. It could be I don't know what you were using. But
that's what I've got left.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's absolutely perfect. Oh, spot on. That's great. How much do you want any of it? Or?
No, it's fine.
Really?
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks so much for
No
that.
problem at all.
Spot on. Right, that's great. Right, so first blag done. Just need some hook baits now, really. I mean, some boilies in there, I could put them on as hook baits, so kind of got enough to get fishing, really, but I would like a few more baits in my armoury before I take on this challenge. Right, onwards. I haven't brought any bait, so I'm hoping you're gonna be really kind and let me ponce a little tiny bit of bait. If it could be a pop-up, or a wafter, or a boilie. We'll get my little poncing bucket out. You're the first person I came to, apart from Callum. I think you've got a duck. Is it a duck? Oh, they look good. They work.
Do you want them?
Well, however many, what?
You can take them.
Really?
Yep.
Sure?
Yep.
That's really kind, thank you very much.
No worries.
So,
What's that?
I've got a full pot of pop-ups. Right, you're next. I've got a little pot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem.
You alright, lads?
How are you doing, mate?
How are you doing? You alright?
Watch your videos up like.
I was just one of them, innit? How are we doing? You alright?
Yeah, man.
Good to see you.
I thought it was Batman coming along the road there.
They said the same thing. What's going on here? I've got to ask some kind people if they can give me some of their bait.
All right.
I was wondering if I could possibly scrounge a little bit of bait. Anything would help massively. Anything would help. Oh well. Can't go wrong with a Northern Special, can you? All right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Great. I've got 3. Is that all right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Oh, that would be good. Hemp would be fantastic. Oh, you're on timer.
Yeah.
You've got 3, 2, 1.
Jeez. Thanks a lot,
Perfect.
mate. Yeah, thanks a lot, Will.
I was wondering if you guys, if I could tap you up for a little bit of bait.
Do you know what? I was just going to ask you. Isn't that weird?
So yeah, that's what I got to do.
I'm going to have to try this one myself, you know. I'm doing a challenge.
Should do a handful of each of them.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I can't fail now, can I? How's it going, mate? You all right? Hello.
Got some particle.
Yeah? Nice.
Check most of that.
Nice, brilliant. Let me,
What I'll do, I'll just take a little bit out for myself. And you
Oh, yeah, mate, I'm not going to need...
take most of them.
Honestly, mate, just honestly, like a few handfuls will be more than enough. I don't need all that, mate. Honestly, that's... Yeah, I'm going to... There. That's... I don't need all that. That's brilliant. You didn't have any boilies as well, did you, by any chance? Oh, yeah. Great. Don't touch... I don't see what they are.
About some krill.
Don't say what they are, but yeah, just... I think that's me kitted out with bait for the week now. I'm well sorted. I got boilies, pellets, particle, pop-ups, bottom weights, wafters. I've got everything I need. There's no excuses. Looks coloured here. I'd fancy this corner. That's where we saw a fish anyway, wasn't it?
My poncing was on point, and I had amassed quite the bundle of bait. I had a sexy spod mix containing lots of hemp and maize, a tub of various pop-up hook baits, a variety of pellets, and a completely random assortment of boilies. I was more than happy with that, and eager to get started.
Well, here I am in the swim, got the house set up, and I'm just having a few casts around with a bare lead on the spod rod. Just have a feel around for the depths and see if there's see what the weed situation's like. I can already see there's a few patches of weed out there. So there is patchy weed, but there's lots of nice clear areas as well. It seems fairly uniform in depth, feels about 5 feet, something like that, 5 feet deep, just feeling that lead down. I very rarely use a marker float for feature finding. I can tell just by feeling the lead down roughly how deep it is. The only time I actually use a float if I want to know precisely how deep it is for fishing with zigs. But yeah, I'm normally accurate within about a foot or something. And right now, I don't really need to know the depth. I just want to know how uniform the bottom is, whether there's any drop-offs, any deep holes. Fish has just shown there over to the right-hand margin. So yeah, it seems pretty flat. Patchy weed, lots of nice clear areas. Really can't wait to get started. Always sit your landing up first. Always sit your landing up first. Bob Nudd said that. Golden rule of match fishing, isn't it? That's quite a big hook for that pop-up.
Depends how buoyant it is.
Oh well, I've got a pot of wafters. Oh well, wafters it is then. They're good pop-ups, aren't they? Jesus. It wasn't even like...
You sound so ungrateful.
I was just thinking that. It wasn't even like a slow sinking pop-up, was it? It was just like, oh, I'm all right fishing a wafter, it's clean over there. Oh, I've got nothing to dry me bags with, have I? Don't have any ground bait or anything. What am I going to dry that with? I should grind up some pellets or something. Got the old Vision Muncher with me. Remember them? Whoa, that kicked off when they came out, didn't it? Ho-ho! It went mental. I don't know if they're going to work.
That's not having any of it. Yeah, worst comes to worst, I've got plenty of pellet for bags.
My opening gambit was a solid PVA bag approach, using the pellet mix containing the smaller sizes of pellets. The mix wasn't perfect, with a few 4mm pellets which are a little too big for my liking, but it would have to do. The bags were quickly tied up with the help of the Rapide loader, and my aim was to position 2 rods along the no fishing bank running along the right hand side of the swim. Now, as with all of my favourite spots, this margin was particularly bushy with only 2 tight holes to aim for. My casting would have to be super accurate to ensure I didn't waste any precious pellets through any miscasts.
That was terrible. Bollocks. I can't ask for any more than that, can I?
I spread my spod mix liberally over both holes. My hope was that the carp would stop in their tracks when they came across the particles and would then home in on the more attractive pellets inside the solid PVA bag, hopefully giving me quicker bites. My third and final rod would be fished out in open water, but using similar tactics, only this time the bait was spotted out around the solid PVA bag.
Tin mugs are the future, aren't they? I mean, they're also the past. That's what makes them so good. They're the past and the future at the same time, like that. So when you're fishing, you'd have a brew, you'd have biscuits, wouldn't you? Do you sit at home with a brew and eat biscuits?
Not really, no.
And the only time that would happen is at Christmas time, when you really splash out and go to Marks and Spencer's and get like them £7 box of biscuits. But I would never sit and have a brew with like some digestives or custard creams. Never. You would never sit, have a cup of tea with some biscuits on a little plate, would you? You'd do it at your grand's house, but you'd never do it yourself. I'd do it while I was fishing though. If I had a plate, I don't bring plates. If I had a plate, I would sit now with a selection of biscuits on a plate. If I had biscuits and a plate, I don't have either. But if I had both of them things, I would combine them and sit with biscuits on a plate. But I wouldn't do it at home. It would be weird. Anyone that does it is also weird. Or old. Or both. If you had guests, you would put biscuits on a plate, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I went to your house and you were to offer me biscuits and they weren't on a plate, I think that was weird. Just give me a packet of biscuits. It's like, well, how many do I take? I don't know what my limit is here. I don't know if I can eat all of them, 1 or 2 of them. I need it to be divided into a portion I know I can eat. I don't want to just think, I don't want to grab a handful of biscuits and offend the host. My maximum number of biscuits need to be on the plate with the brew. That's my allowance. That's my biscuit allowance. There's your tea. There's your biscuit allowance. Drink that. Eat that. Okay. I know where I am. I know where I am. Give me a pack of biscuits. It's like half each. That's why you need to take a guest cup and guest plate for biscuits. A guest biscuit plate. That can be a new part of the Camelite range or the Aquos. Tin mug in Camelite and a Camelite tin plate. Biscuit plate. Guest brew set. Do I get commission on that? No. Well, that's it. The rods are all in position, and normally I say I'm feeling more optimistic than confident, but on this occasion I am actually feeling quite confident. I've got 3 rods on 3 nice spots. Got bait over them all. Granted, it isn't the bait I would want to be fishing with. Bait is a very personal thing, and we all use the bait that we have the most confidence in, and I've used lots of baits over the years, and these days I've settled on a bait I have the most confidence in using. So yeah, that's the only sort of drawback for me. My rigs aren't presented quite how I would want them to be presented, because I haven't got any nice slow sinking wafter hook baits. The pop-ups that I'm using kind of sink like a brick, even under the weight of a hook. But yeah, beggars can't be choosers, and I am quite literally, on this occasion, a beggar. So I shouldn't be so fussy, should I really? But no, I am confident. The rods are all set, and if nothing happens in the night, I have a feeling we're going to have a first light bite. So fingers crossed something happens. Well, it's been 5 minutes since I last spoke, and I said I wasn't confident through the night, but I was confident of a morning bite. And we're playing a fish. Yeah, I had expected something to happen, but really not this quick. This rod's probably only been in the water about an hour. Need to be where you are, hurry. There's a lot of weed and algae and stuff blown into this corner. That's not doing me any favours at all. He's somewhere in this big ball of snot. Oh, he's bigger than I thought. Oh yes, that'll do. That will do. Oh yeah, that's not a bad start, is it? An hour's angling, fish in the net, at least £10 on the board. That's great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. $10.12. I said about £10 when I looked at it in the net. Well, 1 hour angling, and this challenge is 10% complete. We've got a £10 12-ounce mirror, which I'm told is well below average for this lake. Apparently the average is sort of mid to upper doubles with a few 20s as well. So yeah, it's a small fish for the lake, but I'll take that this early on. Like I said, an hour's fishing. We've got a fish on the bank. The challenge is up and running. The only problem I do have though is getting that rod back out on that spot. It was fished mega tight to all those overhanging trees on the no fishing bank to the right. Yeah, it's going to be a tricky cast in the dark, but I do have a solution. Anyway, I'm going to slip this little fella back, get a new PVA bag tied, and attempt to get that rod back out. So the non-fishing bank runs over to my right here, and I'm kind of casting diagonally towards a bit of a gap in the trees. It's a tricky cast at the best of times because you've got an overhanging tree that comes out quite a long way, and I'm trying to get the cast measured just right. If I cast it too hard, it goes over the overhang. If I hit it just right, it manages to go underneath the overhang and just clip the branches right at the water's edge. So yeah, it's a tricky cast at the best of times, even more so at night when you can't see the bag flying through the air, so you don't know how it's going to land until it's landed. But I've got a little bit of help because I've got my little mini lantern here, which is really bright. Where I'm shining it over there, it's not interfering with any other anglers. There's no one fishing there. It's a non-fishing bank, and there's lots of trees there, so it's not beaming across the other lake or anything like that. So yeah, I do always carry a little lantern with me, specifically for situations like this where you've got tricky casts underneath trees. And otherwise, in the past I've thought, well, maybe I'll just come a little tiny bit short of the spot and redo it again properly the next morning, but then you're just not fishing properly till the next morning. So yeah, I want this to go out there absolutely perfectly, and yeah, there can be no half measures here. It has to go absolutely on the money if I'm to get another fish on the scoreboard and chip away at that £100 target. Take that. That cast literally just hung up on the branch above the water, right above the spot before just pinging free and just dropping in with the tiniest little plop. That has gone in absolutely perfectly. That must be a bite. Happy days. So my little lantern came really useful there. I don't need to introduce any more bait over on that spot. I got a bite so quickly after introducing it. There's no way they ate everything, and my hook bait was the last one there. So yeah, I feel there's still plenty of bait down there to do another bite. I couldn't have placed that any better by hand. I really couldn't. It's gone in absolutely bang on. Well, I was just climbing into my sleeping bag, and the other rod's just gone. This was the middle rod, but again fished over towards that non-fishing bank a little bit farther along. It's kind of lodged in a weed bed at the moment. Oh, it's moving slowly. Oh, there we go. It's coming now. Have I picked that up? How have I done that? Oh, don't have moved that rod. That is bad times. Bad times. That was a rod that was positioned so perfectly as well. Now it's picked that other rod up. Lodge that into the weed. Now it's pulling on this rod. And I can't see because of Harry's light as to what's happened. Right, there's a ball of something coming at me. Hopefully it's a ball of carp. Don't wipe that one out, Harry. Have we got him? Something's in there. Was it a carp? Is it a carp? Have we got a carp? Oh yeah, he'll do. That's bigger. Got a mid-double that time. Nice. Wasn't even sure if there was a carp in the net. Just saw a ball of snot go in the net. Well, they're getting bigger. An ounce under £15, 2 fish, and I'm 25% of the challenge completed. But this fish has caused me a couple of problems. It managed to wipe out the other rod, which was perfectly positioned. So I've now got to get 2 rods back out along that tree line, underneath those overhanging trees. And if action continues like this, I think I've maybe got another 2 fish worth of that little PVA bag mix left. I've got some bigger pellets that someone kindly gave me, but they're far too big for a PVA bag mix. And I do have some boilies as well, so yeah, it's not to say I won't have something to tie a PVA bag with, it just won't be the one that's working for me at the moment, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right now I'm going to slip this fella back, and I've got 2 rods to get back out into position. That'll do. Oh yes, that was bang on. Happy with that. So I'm just tying on a piece of marker elastic, a couple of little markers there just above the reel seat. So I'm just putting two little marker knots there. I'll have them sort of just above the writing on the blank of the rod. So the reason I have 2 markers there, just a thumb width apart, is if one's a little bit farther away or something, I know that one of the markers has moved. If you just had one on there, potentially it could move as you're playing a fish and it's passing through your rings, especially if you get a bit of weed or something caught up in the tip ring. There's a potential that one of those knots could move. Whereas if they're not the same distance apart, I know they've definitely moved. So right, I've got my markers in place. I'm just going to take the line out the clip. Just let a tiny bit of line out because at the moment it's So tight. So all I need to do now is, when it comes to recasting the rod, reel the markers so they're just level with the end of the writing on the top of the rod, and put it in the clip. I know I'll be fishing on exactly that same spot.
Pretty sleepy. I'm a terrible night fisherman. This is the same rod that did the bite an hour ago. Actually rebaited that rod as well after that last fish. Sort of grating through weed bed after weed bed. Oh, not again. How? How? Well, that's just annoying. Well, this fish has managed to wipe out one rod, desperately trying to wipe out the other rod. And now it's kind of just lodged in this big ball of slime. Okay, if you don't want to come to me, I'll come to you. Okay, stop now. He's kind of just there on the surface, stuck because he's also pulling against the other rod which is in the water. I think he's in the net. He is just. Now he is. Ah, you troublesome little fella. There he is. You see him? That'll do. Right, we've got a bit of sorting out to do before we can even have a look at him. I reckon it's an upper double. That's great. 3 fish on the board already. It's going quite well, isn't it, really? 24.9. That'll do. That will do. 24.9. Halfway there. That was more than worth wiping out the other rod. I forgive you. Well, we've got a proper crusty old dinosaur here. 24 pound, 9 ounces. 3 fish taking me over 50 pound. Over halfway there. Now, I really did not expect to be at this stage already, especially considering there was a match here at the weekend across the whole complex, on all the lakes on the complex. And over that 48-hour match, the winning weight was 60 pound across all the lakes here. And yeah, I've in what's little over a few hours really, I've now got 50 pound towards my 100 pound total. So yeah, I really did not expect this at all. But I'm very, very grateful to be in this position right now. Nice. Nice. What an amazing start. Always say absolute magic. Bob Nudd's well-known catchphrase. Well, good morning. Nothing's happened since that 24 pounder, which I'm quite surprised about, but either way, I'm certainly not complaining. This session's got off to a much better start than I could ever imagined, really. 12 hours into the challenge and already halfway to the target weight. But I feel like the rod that I spotted the bait on has been
a little bit wasted. I've not seen any sort of activity in that area at all, but in the past 10-15 minutes I have seen a bit of activity more to the left towards the middle of the lake. There's been a bit of fizzing going on, seen a few fish showing, so I've just reeled in that rod that was over the spod mix, and I'm just going to fire a solid bag to where I've seen those fish. Obviously I don't want to start spodding any bait on top of them, not at this stage anyway. I do have enough bait if I need to create a new baited area, but right now I'm just going to fire a solid bag to where these fish are feeding. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, standard, yeah, why not?
What?
One's just showing exactly where I've just reeled this rod in from. That's typical, isn't it? Not see anything, reel it in, start showing where you just reel it in from. Oh well, I'll chuck it back over there then. I'm just going to tie up a fresh solid bag, which I was going to cast out to left towards the middle. Which actually I probably still am, because I'm still looking at a bit of fizzing going on there. But one has just shown right over the spot where I just reeled in from. But my little PVA bag mix pouch has taken a bit of a battering last night. I don't have much left. That's all. I've probably got enough there for 3 solid bags, I reckon. So I did say at one point I had enough for 2 fish worth. I didn't mean 2 solid bags, I meant enough for 2 more bites, taking into account any miscasts or things like that. But yeah, I reckon I've got 3 solid bags left there. I can bulk it up a little bit with a little bit of boilie crumb or something like that. I can grind up some pellets, but that isn't going to be enough to go into another night. So at some point during the day I am going to have to go poncing some bait off people. I'll let them have the breakfast first, and me, then I'll go and ponce them after breakfast. Do you want anything to eat tonight? Ordering double cheeseburger, onion, chips, chicken, bacon and cheeseburger and chips, pie and chips, chili and chips, chip buddy. Oh. Chicken curry and chips, fish and chips, half roast chicken and chips, chicken nuggets and chips, hot chicken wings and chips, sausage barm and chips. Gravy, with or without chips. Bread and butter may contain chips.
They like a chip.
They love chips up here. It's not a bad thing. Okay, so breakfast. Full English breakfast box. 2 sausage, mushroom, 2 bacon, 1 egg, 1 hash, 1 black pud, fried bread, beans. The growler. That sounds like a bit of me. I love a bit of growler in the morning. Large bun, 2 sausage, 2 bacon, 1 egg, 1 hash brown, black pudding. That's a proper growler. No chips on the breakfast menu. Disappointing. Just get a portion of chips. You can't just get a portion of chips. I thought I'd have to wait for a growler till I got back home. Growler on the bank. A growler brought to your bivvy. You know what I'm thinking about right now? Growler. I can literally smell growler now. I actually can smell growler. I'm not joking. I can smell growler.
I could hear growler.
Really?
Yeah. You can hear it now.
I can hear growler. Oh, yes. We're having growler brought to us. It's en route now.
Literally, I can see it.
You can see growler? No way. That's a smelly growler. I could smell that a long way away.
Do we want sauce on our growler?
Oh yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah. I like red sauce, please.
Red sauce and growler. Ooh. No, I'm more about the brown for me, please. Brilliant. Thanks so much. Cheers, mate. Growler. Oh, I can't wait to put my face in that growler. I thought I was gonna have to wait till I got home till I could get stuck into some growler. There's red for you, you weirdo. That's one of the best growlers I've ever seen. Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm looking inside the growler. That's a good looking growler. Right, I'm gonna cover it in sauce, make it moist and get stuck in. £5, £6 maybe? I don't know. I mean, we haven't paid for it yet, have we? I kind of like paying for growler. There's something about it, I don't know. It's kind of like, it's a guilty pleasure anyway, having a growler, and paying for it just makes it feel a little bit more wrong. You know what I mean? Right, here goes. Oh. Oh, I love a drippy growler. I just got a mouthful of sausage there. And I'll be honest, I was just a mouthful of, you don't want just sausage in a growler, I don't think. When you chow down on it and there's already a sausage in the growler, that's not good for anyone. These pop-ups are absolute turd.
Why?
Well, they don't pop up, for one, and all the colour washes out of them. They were yellow, it's like beige. What's the point in that? Well, it's mid-morning now, and not a great deal has happened, to be honest. I did cast that solid bag towards where I saw that bit of feeding activity, but nothing materialised from that. Callum the bailiff has been round, and he tells me that this swim is predominantly a nighttime swim, which is quite surprising with all that cover along that margin. I would have fancied that to do day bites, but anyway, there's still plenty of time today. Now, as for the bait situation, I actually used up a lot more of that spod mix, particle mix than I thought. After that 24-pounder, which wiped out both the rods which were positioned along that no fishing bank, I topped up both those spots with a bit more bait, re-chucked over there, and yeah, I was probably only left with 3 or 4 handfuls of bait. So I would have been in trouble if one of the guys who I tapped up for some bait yesterday called round this morning and give me all his bait he had left.
It was one of the 18 called the Corporal.
Yeah. Well, you've had one, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Off that, the fence where I was.
Yeah. Oh, mint.
Look, actually, all this was like gold, lovely.
But no, that's all. Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
That's brilliant. So, and you got rewarded last night for it with your fish.
Sorry?
And you got rewarded last night with your fish as well.
Yeah, it was not long after you went.
Really?
It was in the afternoon. You alright, Daddy?
How are we doing?
Oh, not bad.
I'm alright for spod mix now.
We're alright now, we're topped up.
Yeah, it's great. No, I really appreciate that a lot, mate. Thank you. So I've now got probably, I reckon 7 kilo of particle mix in that bucket. So I'm absolutely sorted for that. I've still got a lot of boilies. I haven't really used any boilies at all. But the one problem is the PVA bag mix. I think I've got maybe 1 solid bag worth of mix left. And I've used a lot more of that than I thought. I think that's down to my casting hasn't been super accurate, and I put that down to the actual pellet mix I'm using. Normally I like to use a really fine pellet, no bigger than say 2 mil. That allows me to compact the bag much tighter. By using them tiny pellets, it fills in a lot more space, there's a lot less gaps in the bag for air to get trapped. You can pack the bag much tighter, much neater. Well, the pellet mix I've got, it does have quite a few 4 mil pellets and what looks to be maybe even a little bit bigger. And because of that, I'm not able to quite pack it as tight and get the nice aerodynamic shape. And where I can normally put them out there in one cast, they're going out and they're sort of swerving around in mid-air because the bag isn't perfectly aerodynamic. And
That was terrible.
yeah, normally I can sort of put it on the money first time, but it's taking me 2 or 3 casts sometimes to get it right. I can't ask for any more than that, can I? And yeah, and because of that, I've now used up pretty much all of that PVA bag mix. From seeing people fishing on this lake, I've not seen anyone cast out solid bags. Most people are catapulting boilies, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any more bag mix on this lake. There's a few other lakes we can walk around, but I don't know, I think a lot of people are going with like a boilie approach or over particles, and I haven't really seen many people using solid bags. So I don't know what the chances are of me getting any of that. And we can adapt and overcome. We can blitz up the boilies in a muncher. So it's like a fine powder. We can fish solid bags that way. But when the tactic is working as well as it is, I'd like to carry on doing it with a fine pellet. I mean, I've had 3 bites last night, and Callum the bailiff tells me there's only been 2 other bites on the whole complex last night. So when something's working as well as this, I don't really want to be changing. But we're just gonna have to see. I'm gonna give it a little bit longer, have a brew, then I think I'm gonna walk around and see if I can tap someone up for a little bit of pellet. Well, that was unexpected, having been told that day bites are very rare. How would you always pick that up? It's nowhere near. Oh yeah, it is quite near. She's kind of swimming straight at me at the minute. I had a bit of a dart towards those overhanging trees and bushes, as you'd expect it would do. This would be such a bonus if this goes in the net. Such a bonus. Harry and I were both sort of sat here thinking, well, it looks good for a day bite, but everyone says it doesn't do them. So I think we're both kind of thinking, well, it's probably going to be tonight when we get another bite. And there we go. Get in that net. Get in the net. Yes! Oh, that is such a result. It's not very big, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I was not expecting a day bite at all. So as far as I'm concerned, that is such a bonus. I think this is going quite well.
Going too well?
It's going too well. So look at him quickly. I want to get a rod straight back out there. £10. So that puts me on 60 and a bit pounds. I think 3 more fish. 3 more fish should see me do it. I've got enough for one more fish, fishing solid PVA bags. But after that, I don't know what happens. Well, it might only be £10, but it's valuable weight on the board towards that £100 total, what I need to pass this challenge. And yeah, I've got enough pellets left to make up one more solid PVA bag. And then I don't know what happens, but let's just think one fish at a time at the moment. So I'm going to slip this little fella back and try and get that one next fish while the going's good. Well, that is more or less now the last of my PVA bag mix. I dare say if I crushed up a few more of the bigger pellets with the muncher, I might get one more small solid bag out of it at a push, but you know, if I miscast this, then you know, I'm going to need that. And with what's left in the bottom of my pot here, there's quite a few big pellets and things here, so I'm not really able to pack this bag as tight and as neat as I would like. It's a bit misshapen. If there were smaller pellets, I could pack it much tighter. And the bag's starting to split. Right, let's get it out there quick. Not the one, is it? I mean, it'll probably do a bite. I'll leave that. So this is the rig that's been doing the business for me on this session, and it really is kind of my go-to solid PVA bag rig. Here we've got a 3-ounce flat pair inline lead, and coming down from that we have the hook link, which is £25 reflex camo braid. If we come down to the hook, we've got a size 5 wide gape beaked hook, a little bit smaller than what I would normally use. I do tend to use a 4 for the majority of my fishing. Now over the eye there, I've got quite a long length of shrink tube, which has been steamed down. It basically creates an extension of the hook, and it really does help the hook turn and dramatically improves the hooking properties. I've got a rig ring there, which is just tied on with a simple overhand knot level with the barb to create a blowback rig. And then I've got one of these little 10mm pop down, I can't call them pop-ups, little 10mm pop down hook baits. And yeah, this is kind of different how what I actually started off using. I started off with a size 5 stiff rig beaked hook and a little bit of silicone tubing over the shank. That's because I thought the pop-ups would actually do their job and pop up. But as soon as I realised they weren't capable of doing that, then I switched over to what is basically my bottom bait, my wafter presentation, which is what I do like to use inside solid bags. So there, that is the rig. Very, very simple, but as you can see, very, very effective. Well, the rod that I just recast half an hour ago is away again, and whether I land this fish or not, it means I don't have any more bag mix. At the moment the fish is really in a weed bed. I might need to walk down the bank here and just shorten this line to get a bit more pressure on him. Is this going to be a wet foot job? No one likes a wet foot job. Probably should have brought a net with me. So the fish got lodged in a wee bed just round the corner here. So I just moved down the bank just to shorten the line so I can apply a little bit more pressure, kind of get a bit more above the fish. And as I did that, it just pinged free quite easily. Please, can you go and get the net, Harry? That'll do. Yeah. Thanks for that, cheers. I'm always a little bit dubious about the hook haul after it's gone from wee bed to wee bed, and it's had that little bit of that time with a slack line. That's stuck on something. Yeah, stay like that. Stay like that. Just in all that. Swim that way, swim that way. Is he in? Yes, he's in. Oh, yes. And that's a nice fish. He's kind of all... Has the hook just come out in the net? I think the hook has just come out in the net. It has as well. That was a right stroker, look. Oh, nice. That'll do, that'll do. Right, let's get this one weighed because I need to go and blag some PVA bag stuff because I can't get the rod back out now. So £16, 12 ounces, that puts me on about £77, I think, something like that. So 1 or 2 fish away from victory. But I don't have any stuff to tie solid PVA bags with now. So I need to reel in the rods and go on the blag again. But right now I'm really happy with that fish. It's a proper characterful fish. It's got a floppy tail there and a bit of a stumpy fin going on. Proper little character. Looks pretty miserable. I don't believe that. We were literally 10 seconds away from reeling the rods in, and the other rod fished on that tree line just pulled up tight. 10 seconds later this would have been getting reeled in. I just wish I had another handful of PVA bag mix. I could just get it straight back out there. And there's obviously fish moving up and down that margin at the moment. Now I've got to waste time looking for some pellet. And part of me thinks I could just put out a lead clip and a mesh bag and it would still go. I don't know what to do. I'm in a bit of a quandary now. Waste time looking for pellets or change tactics to suit what bait I've got. I need to go down there again. Right, come on. I knew it was going to do that. I haven't got much room to manoeuvre here, and that's just angered him a lot. Okay, come on. This time. Get in the net, swing around that way. Yes! That looks a good fish as well. Oh yeah, he'll do. He will do. Could be pushing £20 that fish. Nice. Right. What to do next? What to do next? Right, let's have a look at this fish first and then I'll make a decision as to what to do. So I reckon we've got about £18 here. Let's have a look. £19.7. So, I don't know. What's that put me on, Harry?
The best part of 97 pounds.
Is it? Okay. Well, we've got a proper old dinosaur here, 19 pounds 7 ounces. And that takes us within, Harry, £3, I think, of my, yeah, about £3 of my target weight. And it has left me with a bit of a tactical decision as what to do next. I think I have a plan up my sleeves. I think I have a plan. I'm going to slip him back, then I'm going to tell you as to what my plan is to get that one last fish and hopefully put this challenge to bed.
Hey mate, do you use boilies?
Christ, things people used to say to me when I had my tackle shop. Absolutely mental. You just always look around and say, oh, what do you think I need to start? And I say, oh, this. Oh, some PVA bags. Get some PVA bags, mate.
Hey, I used them once before, mate. Absolute waste of money. You cast them out. When you reel them in, they've gone.
All right, yeah, forget them then. Probably not for you then. So I mentioned I had a bit of a plan, and basically that was to continue fishing over on that tree line while the fish are there and while they're feeding, while the going is good, and just fish with single hook baits and then just walk around and bait up by hand. It kind of seems silly to start chasing around the lake looking for pellets, looking for a PVA bag mix while it was a productive time of day and a productive spot. I mean, I've had 3 bites in a little more than an hour, so I just want to maximize my time fishing on that area. So yeah, I was just going to swap over to single hook baits, but as I was returning that fish, a lad had come walking round with a bucket. He was looking for somewhere to fish. He was going to drop a bucket in a swim to mark his swim, and it just so happened that bucket contained some fine PVA bag mix. That's all the pellets I got left for a bag. That's it. Oh, spot on. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay, is that all right?
As much as you want.
I won't need that. Is that okay?
Of course it is, mate.
Yeah?
Perfect, it's fine.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that.
It's all right.
Spot on. Yeah. Cheers. So I've now topped up my little pot here, my little container, and I've got enough there for, well, plenty of solid PVA bags. But yeah, I got lucky there, and I got lucky with that fish, because in 10 seconds time, that rod would have been reeled in, and then I would have been walking around the lake trying to scrounge some pellets off someone. I probably would have missed that guy coming down the path with his bucket of pellets, and I'd now be thinking, if I couldn't get any pellets off anyone else, then I'd be having to resort to a plan B. And yeah, I have undoubtedly been lucky on this session. Everything seems to have fallen in my favour, which is good, because it rarely goes that way on a challenge.
I'm always one step behind, wishing I could read your mind, but I'm ready, yeah, never ready. I wish I could have made it stop.
I reckon that's nailed it.
I wasn't ready, yeah, never ready. Like a forbidden fruit, I'm still craving for, I'm still wanting.
So it's been probably half an hour since I chucked out that nice tight solid PVA bag. That landed perfectly in place, went round putting a little bit of bait, and I am playing what would be, without a doubt, a victory clinching carp. I don't feel as nervous as I normally would at this stage, knowing it's the last the last fish needed for a victory. I know if I lose it, we've got 24 hours to try and rectify things. I really didn't expect today to be like this. I thought it was going to be a busy night. Today there's going to be lots of inactivity apart from me walking around trying to scrounge some bait. Just sort of getting ready for tonight's activities. Hopefully I could put another 2 or 3 fish on the bank, which would put me somewhere within touching distance, and then going into tomorrow in the final 12 hours, it was going to be touch and go if I could sneak a daytime bite. That's how I saw this session going, where it would go right down to the wire. But if this fish ends up in the bag, then there'll be job done with 24 hours to spare. Fight really well this time. Get in, get in. That'll be a pass. Oh yeah, that'll do. Do we need to weigh him? Is he over 3 pound?
I think he's over 3.
I think he's over 3 pounds. Oh yes. Is that 2 victories? Yeah, back-to-back victories.
Yeah, that's probably for the first time in ages.
Maybe, maybe. I feel a little bit kind of stunned at the moment, really. It's gone so much better than expected. It's kind of been a bit of a walk in the park. And this on paper I thought looked really difficult as well.
Really?
There's lots of things that could have gone very wrong with this challenge. But nothing did, really. Should we take a look at him? Well, I needed £3 to pass this challenge, and at £19 6 ounces, that takes me over quite comfortably the £100 barrier that I needed to pass. And I feel a little bit in shock at the moment. Everything has gone so right for me on this session. I really didn't expect it to be such plain sailing, but yeah, it has been. And that is now back-to-back passes on these challenges. So all that's left for me to say is, that isn't challenge complete, that's challenge obliterated.